flesh.
What does that mean, my kinsmen? That means your family, right? Your kin of folk, right? That means your own people, your flesh and your blood. I wish it was me up there on a cross dying for my brethren and my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
That's right. How y'all doing? Who are Israelites?
Wait, everybody.
Who are Israelites?
Right, man?
Who are Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption.
Well, we gotta read that a little slowly. He said, who are Israelites, to whom pertain, meaning is in their possession, the adoption of Christ, bringing back these two people, right, the northern kingdom and southern.
Who pertaineth the adoption and the glory.
The glory, the adoption,
and the covenants.
And the covenants, plural. Everything from Genesis 9 and 13 all the way down to Revelation.
And the giving of the law.
And the distributing of the law. As I mentioned before, Moses came down from the mountain, had 2 stone commandments, tablets, and brought them to Israel, right? Go on.
It's like it. And the service of God and the promises. Whose our fathers, and it's like of whom, as the flesh, Christ came.
Right. Whom the flesh Christ came. Didn't I just say that?
God. Whose are fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
So it's telling us who Christ came for, right? Those who were given the law, statutes, commandments, the glory, the covenants, the promises.
That's right.
Was that everybody? Hell no.
Oh, that's right.
Who is all over, God bless forever. Amen.
All right, jump down to verse 13. We got to throw something heavy at y'all. This is in the Bible.
This is the book. Real quick, bro. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
That's the Most High. He said, Jacob have I loved. Jacob is synonymous with Israel, right? Jacob, the 12 tribes, Zion, all synonymous with Israel. He said, Jacob have I loved, but what?
But Esau have I hated.
But Esau have I hated. Esau is the so-called white man today, the Idumeans, right? We reading to you out the scriptures, out the so-called New Testament, that it just said, plain upon tables, I love this people and I hate this people.
Bring that up.
If God loves everybody, why didn't he give the white man melanin? Why would he make them suffer like that? Why would he do that to them?
Even the sun hated them.
Yeah.
Burn up in the sun. All right, this is the book of John, chapter 3, and verse 16. And it reads, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
Close the book, because that's what they do in church. They read that verse and they close the book, right? Right, let me pass the plate once we done finishing that verse, right? But you have to get the proper understanding and keep it in context. This is Christ speaking to Nicodemus. He's speaking about the world of Israel, right? Go to Isaiah 45. Is that 7?
This is the book of John, chapter 17, verse 1. These words spake.
Before we get there, I want this one. Slide.
You want this one? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, and verse 7. And it reads,
You're not going to hear this nowhere else. Ain't nothing else to do today. Everything closed. They're not going to show y'all this nowhere else, not on Instagram, right? Not your favorite celebrities.
Hey, can I intervene real quick before you get this? All right, first and foremost, we have to understand, are there multiple worlds?
Right.
There are multiple worlds. Did God create multiple worlds, right? Absolutely. He did, right? All right, so you want to read this first?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, and verse 17. And it reads, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end.
So we're a world within ourselves. As I mentioned earlier, pursuant to Leviticus 11 and 7, right? You have the sea world, right? You got the animal world, the sky world, Disney world, right? It's a lot of different worlds. Even in the scriptures, it tells us. We're going to prove it in Hebrews, right?
Yeah. What would that go to Luke chapter 2, verse 1?
Right? So when he said, y'all got any questions? Was that a question? Okay, so when Christ said, you know, he gave his only begotten son for the world, he's speaking about the word of Israel. And we're proving that out the scriptures.
Actually, you guys got an Instagram or Facebook?
Well, after these 2 verses, we got you, brother. We got you.
Which one? Hebrews 1 and 2 or Hebrews 11 and 3? All right. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 1. And it reads, God who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in times past, and to the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he have appointed heir of all things,
Right.
by whom also he made the worlds.
He made the worlds. You drop some, brother. Right? So he made the worlds, the sea world, the world of Israel, the world of the other nations. There are different worlds. You can even Google the definition of world. You'll see that it means different societies or groups or factions. Bring that up.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed.
Right, when Caesar Augustus was in authority, he taxed the entire world. Did he go over there in Mexico and say, look, I'm taxing y'all? He's talking about that world over there, right? That specific world. So we're showing you different meanings and definitions of the word world to keep it in the context, right? And getting a true, proper understanding. One more verse, and we got your YouTube channel and everything. Go to John 17:9.
This is the book of John, chapter 17, verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
What did Christ say?
I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
Why did Christ just say, I pray not for the world? So look, it's a lot of things that they're not really explaining and expounding upon in church. He's not dealing with the other nations. He's not dealing with the heathen, right? He's praying specifically for Israel.
That's right.
We're proving this to you out the Bible. Go ask your minister, your pastor, your preacher. They're not going to go precept upon precept and prove it.
This is the book of Psalms. And this also shows a differentiation too. This is the book of Psalms chapter 90, verse 2. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hadst formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art Yahweh. So he formed the earth and the world. So he formed the earth and then the world's inside the earth. Okay, that's a good precept.
That's right. So what's your nationality? If it's not black, you're Israelite. Y'all are Israelites, right? Even the Native Americans and Hispanics, he spoke different dialects of Hebrew, right? Go Google the Los Lunas Decalogue stone. It's a big stone tablet, right? The size of you, brother, a little taller, right? It's all Hebrew on there in New Mexico.
Yep.
How did they get that? How did those Native Americans and Aztecs know Hebrew?
How did they build pyramids?
Yeah.
How did he get all that information? Well, when you read in the book of 2nd Esdras, it tells us how the Native Americans and Hispanics got here, right? Y'all got the flyers?
I gave one.
Right. Our YouTube channel is on our flyers, yeah? The Adam Abbott, WFI Detroit, Cold Cuts, right? Okay, Con.
One point to go into the northern kingdom, proving they Israelites. You got this book called The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, The Origins of Racism by Ronald Sanders. This is an Edomite, a so-called white man, scholar. Right? This book right here.
That at my library.
All praise. This is page 92, the second paragraph. It says, we do not know much concerning Columbus's crew of about 90 men aboard the 3 ships, but at least one of them was an Israelite, whose presence as such was not merely accidental. This was Luis de Torres, a convert of possibly only that year, who had once held a position with the governor of Murcia. He was said to have known Hebrew, Aramaic, and some Arabic, and he had been brought along by Columbus specifically as an interpreter.
Specifically as an interpreter, right? When they came to the New World, so-called, he said, look, we need a Hebrew translator who can, try to translate what they're saying. We know they speak in different dialects of Hebrew. Because Christopher Columbus, all those wicked men, they understood that the Israelites were over here, right? They came over for us.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 38. Speaking to the children of Israel, and bid them that they make fringes. Make fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Break it down. Pull out a picture.
So, just like the brother was going into, Native Americans, so-called Native Americans, Hispanics, when we was over here prior to the white man coming here, This is what we wore, you know. And this is actually a commandment out of the first 5 books of the Bible. So that's how you know we're Israelites.
Where do you purchase something like that?
Amazon, Etsy, you know, Joanne Fabrics. You got Google fringes. You can Google fringes with a border of blue. It's gonna pop up, all right?
Brother, all you have to do is go online, go to Google, and put Hebrew Israelite fringes. And you're gonna have a gang of sisters that are in the truth that make fringes, and you can order from them.
She make fringes.
All right, and we got those are the Israelites with
Those don't make
fringes.
fringes.
Those are the so-called Native Americans that's taken in a museum. Brother, you see that? You can't make this stuff up. They have fringes on. The same fringes that we have on today. Show the camera that. All right. So before y'all go, what's your nationality? All right. And when you look upon these fringes, you gotta remember the commandments. Right?
Verse 39, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, that ye seek not after your own heart, and your own eyes after which ye use to go a whoring.
Right. Self-explanatory. Look upon the fringes, keep the commandments. All right, make sure you're not doing what you want to do, you know, according to your own heart.
Appreciate your time.
Did you say you had a question earlier?
I was just about to ask about the Instagram page.
So the Instagram, well, we have individual Instagrams, but you know, you can email us, you know, for that information.
That's cool.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, we got you, brother.
What's up, bro?
So which one?
Appreciate your time. Thanks for planting the seeds. You know.
Hey, all praises to the Most High. Bring out 1 Corinthians 6 and 3. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 Corinthians 3 and 6. All right. So which your nationality? What tribe? Who are you?
Here's your card.
It's a girl. You gonna tell her to put on a dress, brother?
We're just friends.
Well, brother, you know, friends, family, you know, or significant others, you still gotta let them know. That's right. That's still love.
That's still love.
She not our blood sister, right? She not our, you know, she not one of the, you know, brothers, wives up here, but we still let her know. Because we love her and we love you. All right, so we're going to tell you the commandments that said the Lord. So you're all the Israelites.
I didn't hear you say it, sister.
What?
What's your nationality?
Israelite?
Yeah, what tribe you from?
Issachar?
That's right. All praises.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6. I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase.
So, you know, the Most High put in our spirit to plant the seeds, and it's ultimately the Most High whether He wants you to really accept His knowledge or not. All right, that's all we just doing, just planting the seeds. That's all. Right? What it, all right. So tonight, when the sun sets, it's the Sabbath. I mean, you can't buy or sell. All right. Y'all usually buy and sell on the Sabbath? Friday night to Saturday night? All right, we're going to read to you.
Usually buy.
Usually buy? What about you? Y'all go to the movies, buy from Amazon, things of that nature? We got you.
Nehemiah 10 and 31. Yeah. All right. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 31. And it reads, nevertheless, this is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 31, and it reads, and if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day.
Right. So you got a lot of the heathen, a lot of the other nations, they said, look, we're going to try to entice these Israelites to sin. All right, how specifically? By breaking the commandments, by breaking the Sabbath day, right?
That's on Saturday, right?
That's on Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, right? That's the Sabbath day. We can't buy or sell, right? 28. Oh, that was different. It's like you wasn't there. Right, you might bring the Exodus 28.
20 and 8. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. And it reads, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Right. So that's the day we can't do our own pleasures. We can't buy or sell. We got to strictly devote our time to the Heavenly Father. We have to pray. We have to read. Right? You can watch Israelite videos online if you want. Right? But you have to abstain from buying and selling. Right? And coming into the truth, you might have to stay off social media for a bit because on Friday and Saturday they put up a lot of deals and percentages off. Right? When it comes to clothing, even in real life. Right? You walk past Macy's, it's like 50% off on Fridays and Saturdays. Right? Or something to that extent.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy neighbor in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
Right, so with all the knowledge and understanding that you got right through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, is Yahweh, right, in the name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus or Jesus, is really Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Right? So with everything that you learned today, you have to not suffer sin upon your neighbor. I mean, if you see your brother or your sisters in sin, eating pork, breaking the Sabbath day, right, you got to let them know, hey, you can't do that. Right? If you're doing that, you're breaking the commandments of the Heavenly Father. Right? What's the results of breaking commandments? Death. Go on.
Verse 18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Have y'all ever bared any grudges against your own people? Or do y'all still to this day bear grudges?
What does he read?
That's
I
good.
had it before, but I don't hold grudges anymore.
Okay, that's beautiful. Right? Because even when they say in the world, once you hold on to something, that's like letting somebody live in your mind rent free. Right?
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right. Who is your neighbor? After everything we just read to y'all, who is your neighbor? According to the Bible. Everyone. I didn't hear you. What did you say? Everybody on this chart.
Right.
Just keep all the tribes. Right? And we're gonna prove that. Just go to the first verse.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak into all the congregations of the children of Israel.
Speak unto all the congregations of the children of Israel. Everything that follows that verse, it all pertains to us. Right? So when it talks about your neighbor, it's talking about your Israelite brothers and sisters. Right? They even, lived amongst each other. So those are their neighbors. What's your nationality, Walter? 3? Yeah, you be from the tribe of Issachar. Y'all are Israelites.
Israelites.
From the tribe of Judah. Issachar.
Issachar.
right.
Issachar. Issachar.
Right.
And that's what your dad was a so-called Mexican.
No, my mom.
What about your father?
Like English, Irish, French.
What about his father?
I have no idea.
Well, look,
Your spirit
spirit
bearing
bearing witness. That's all we'll say.
Yeah.
Spirit bearing
Wait,
witness. Do you believe that all people are
Spirit bear witness.
Bring out one verse. Kind of, bring this up. Revelation 13 and 10. Right? This is also in the Bible. This is Christ speaking. This is in the so-called New Testament.
Here we go.
We got y'all. We got y'all.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 10. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
We established earlier which people led another group of people in captivity. So-called white men, right? They led the who into captivity? The Israelites, right?
So, what's the result of that? Read it again, remember?
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints.
Do y'all agree with that? Do you think the so-called white man, they need to be put in captivity after 500 years of slavery? 500 years of putting the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans through slavery and persecution, right? Even really from the 1400s. Do y'all think they should go into slavery? No? Why not? Forgiveness. Did the white man, did he forgive us?
Isn't that like the grudge thingy? Like,
Well, you gotta remember it amongst your own people, your neighbors. Right? We heard earlier, does God love everybody?
yes.
So yeah, they gotta go into slavery.
Right. That's right.
That's it, the Lord. You gotta remember, they raped, robbed, and murdered your people. The majority of Hispanics, they're Catholics because of the white man. The majority of so-called blacks, they're Christians because of the so-called white man. They destroyed your family members to the point where they call themselves a color and another name that reeks of colonization. Right?
This is the book of Galatians proving that. This is the book of Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. Well, basically said that. Whatever a man does, it's going to happen back to him. And that's what God says. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Right. You reap what you sow, right? That's even a saying in the world. You reap what you sow. So what does a white man deserve at the end of the day? Seeing that, look, you got to keep this in mind, right? There is no statute of limitations upon murder, right? The white man is known for killing us day in and day out, right? None of them have been held accountable in front of the judges for the crimes and atrocities, right? Not only that, they still dwelling in a land that's not theirs. And they have the nerve to charge for water, food, money, right? Even the air you breathe. Hold on real quick. Even the air you breathe.
It's the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done. And there is no respect of persons.
The Lord said there is no respect of persons. He that doeth the wrong shall receive the wrong that he hath done.
Right.
So what did the white man do to us? Slavery, right? So it's only right that they go into slavery.
That's right. I can only that. The book of Nahum, chapter 1. The bird of the Nineveh. The book of the vision of Nahum, the Elkosite. God is jealous, and the Lord revenges. The Lord revenges and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries and reserve his wrath for his enemies.
That's right.
Con. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 chapter 32 verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
The Lord is telling us to remember the days of old and your forefathers. Doesn't America tell you to never forget 9/11? Did they ever say never forget slavery? No, they said don't worry about it. It happened a while ago, right? They say don't worry about it. It's forever ago. You gotta forgive us, right? But they say, look, never forget 9/11. Don't forget the Civil War, right? Don't forget American history. But we want y'all to forget your history, right? And slavery. Isn't that wicked? So you gotta bring all these things into consideration.
Right.
Bring out Deuteronomy 30:7. That's 32 and 7. Bring out 30 and 7.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies.
Hold on. We read to y'all one of the curses in Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Right? Remember how they put us into slavery and captivity? Now they have to go into slavery and captivity. The Lord just said he's going to put all the curses that are upon us unto them.
And on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
Who persecuted us? Goddamn white man.
That's right.
That's what it is, brother.
Gone.
You called yourself African American for about 20 plus years, more than likely. Right? That's a derogatory term. That actually means two different white man's names. Leo Scipus Africanus, a Roman general, and Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian map maker. So you've been calling yourself the name of two different white men for 20 plus years. Right? And then you got the nerve to tell us to forget our past. Right? It's a shame.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 10.
All right, so y'all
Subscribe to
good?
you guys, though.
Y'all gonna watch the videos?
What?
Y'all gonna watch the videos?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
She was listening, but the minute I asked her, something told me to they asked her what her father is.
Because once you start bringing up the judgment, she got kind of mad.
I'm about to do it right